Hi guys.
Back. Hey, what's going on?
Welcome back to Dante. This is number
This
20.
is number 25.
Right? 25. Yeah.
Number
I lost
25.
track. 25 of Nerds of the Decade.
I thought of something funnier than 24.
What? Oh,
25.
Gosh, 25.
That's an old joke. If you guys don't know, watch SpongeBob.
It's a number. It's just like and now for door number 3. Remember that?
Yeah, exactly.
Helsing.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. What's his name? Jan Valentine. He's
Yeah.
And now for our next trick, he's like behind door number 3. Yeah. He's like, oh my God, what have you done? What's his name?
Yeah.
Walter. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, oh my God, what have you done? Yeah,
What have you done?
yeah. Anyway.
Now I'm about to get eaten by an
Extra thick
zombie.
Yeah. Anyway. So, dude, should we do our introductions?
Yes, we shall.
And guys, if you don't know what you should by now,
So
who
what are
we
you waiting
are.
for?
Yeah, who we are. My name is A. Goldman, or as you like
He's
to call
also
me.
known as Mr. Available, Mr. Hef.
Yes, I am. That's terrible. Anyway, and this over here is...
Of course, you know me as Dante G.J.
Dante,
Lewis,
yeah, DJ Lewis,
or as this dude likes to call me,
Mr.
extra thick.
as I like to
Yes.
call him.
Exactly. And of course, you already know who we are, so yeah.
Yeah, you already know who we are. So yeah, dude. Do you want to get started, dude? Do you wanna
Let's get started,
Hey,
shall
dude,
we?
do your wrestling announcements. Like, let's get ready to rumble.
I thought that was about. Oh, look. Yeah. I forgot that. Let's get ready to rumble.
There you go. Nice one, dude.
Unfortunately, they didn't pick me for Vegas, so that's
Yeah.
another sad
Yeah.
story for another day.
No, but so, dude, tell everybody what our topic is this time.
Oh yeah,
for this podcast
guys.
episode.
Guys, for this one, this is actually going to be both an educational,
Yes, but also kind of
but
a rant.
also a bit of a rant.
Yeah, because there are a lot of issues with this particular genre, and a lot
We
of
got a
people
bone to pick with this one.
Yeah, and a lot of people get annoyed with this. And it's probably not just this genre. There's a couple other genres we got a
Yeah.
bone to pick with, but we'll get into those in another time.
Yes.
But for now, it's just this genre.
Now, in case you guys are wondering what type of genres we're talking about, we're talking about anime
Isekai.
genres.
Yes, and
Especially
specifically Isekai.
Isekai.
Yes, and a lot of people. So if you have a problem with this episode, don't watch it. Or if you're like us and you also have a
Or
bone
if you want to
pick
vent a
with-
little bit,
Yeah, if you have a bone to
Stick
pick with this
around.
one, stick around because we might cover some of the stuff that really bothers you guys about Isekai and Isekai.
yeah,
anime.
like
Right, dude?
Yeah, like how it came to be, why
Yeah.
is it popular, why is it saturated?
And why do they do so many every freaking, like, certain times of year they do so many of them. And, it's
And
like,
even why it got banned in some instances.
And
So we're going to be talking about that
It's
too.
like, just please, make it stop. Make it stop.
Yes. It's like an ongoing hamster in the wheel. You don't even know why
It's
it's
kind of like you're like living on. Remember when we said the last episode where like
Yeah.
you might get stuck in Groundhog Day.
Yes.
But it'll be like Isekai Groundhog Day where you'll get stuck in your favorite Isekai and just live the same exact Isekai day or moment over and over again.
Yeah, sorry, we're
That's
not Bill.
probably-
Yeah, we're not Bill Murray. So
Yeah, that might happen to you, and that might be how you feel with the all these Isekai genre titles coming out. Where
because
it's like,
there's a new one every
and
single
dude, it's
season.
always that oh, I got transported or I got reincarnated.
Oh, wait, I'm
or,
in another world.
Exactly, I'm in another universe. It's like, and some of them are.
I've been reincarnated into a stripper, so now I got to live here.
Yeah, and the universes each time they do it seems like the universes get. Well, sometimes, not always. Sometimes the universes are horrible. So, for example, if you were to get stuck in an isekai, I would not want to be stuck in, any of the universes where you get treated as a slave. So, for example, like a really good example of that is like the.
I'm gonna say
Is like what's the famous
Mushoku?
show? Well, not
Or-
okay.
wait,
Okay,
wait,
not
I-
Mushoku.
now-
Not
now I get
Mushoku
it.
because Mushoku there are.
I got it.
There are different elements to Mushoku, but you're right. I wouldn't want to be in the Mushoku Tensei.
Familiar of Zero.
For Zero, yeah, I would not want to be in that universe because you get treated like a dog. So I would not want to be in that one. But because you're not unless you're like really rich or really famous, you're going to be a nobody in that universe.
Well,
right?
I mean, if you think about it
So-
in terms of isekai, most of the time, most of the
And that's
Characters
with
that-
Familiar
yeah,
Zero,
yeah, that's-
because the character in Familiar Zero, the only way he becomes a noble is by marrying that really bitchy, really main chick. Well, that's how I call her.
I told you we were about to get started in the rain.
Yeah,
Here
yeah.
we go.
We told you we were gonna get where this
Here
is
we
gonna be a
go.
rant. But that really bitchy, really, you know the character, Louise. That really, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for, dude? Come on, you know what I'm talking about.
Sanandre. We
San
talked
Andre,
about
yes,
it.
character, and it's just, to me, my personal opinion, it seems like a real bitch who I just want to take forks and stab her in the eyes and be like,
Just throw off a cliff.
yeah, just like, I just want to put her through a meat grinder and be like, this is what you get.
You want to make a cheeseburger out of her? Jeez.
No, I just want to kill her.
No,
No,
McDonald's, man, take your order. Hi,
Yeah.
I'll have the Louise special, quarter pound of cheese, extra pickles. Can I get a
yeah,
side of
it's
fries?
just like I just want to murder her in like the worst way.
Yeah, give me a double
because-
quarter pounder with Louise.
Because
That's
she's
what I
so
want.
she's just unbearable. She's just horrible. So that's one universe I wouldn't want to be in because I'd be
Yeah.
just like murdering. I'd like every time she gets close to me, I'd be chopping. I'd have some kind of sharp object and be chopping off her head with
Gee
something,
whiz.
or I'd just be strangling her because if you're a dude and you're a pretty big dude and you're pretty strong, I'd be like, hey, bitch. Wait, where's the
Wait.
thing? It's like,
Bitch, I'm adorable.
Exactly.
and then if she got me mad, it'd be like.
Grab her, take her down.
Exactly, grab her by the neck.
her
and
down.
I'd rip her in half, like you know the scene from Deadpool,
Yep.
Dante, where Deadpool gets torn in half. Remember that scene?
Yeah, I know. I remember that.
I do that.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I will tear you in half like a piece of paper.
Piece of bacon.
Yeah, it's just like what does he say? He says, "Don't
I'm
piece of paper."
trying to remember.
But he says like I'm
Shoot.
gonna like rip you in half. I'm gonna break you. I'm gonna
Because
rip
I
you in
already know,
half. Like
I already know about the Limp Bizkit one. I know about the T-Rex.
Dude, I can say the thing from Family Guy. It's just like
Yeah.
it's just like I'm gonna snap you in half like a almond biscotti from 51st Street.
I'm gonna snap you in half like an
It's like-
almond biscotti from 51st Street.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yay! It's like I'm gonna snap you in half like an almond biscotti. It's like touch me or get near me, I'm gonna snap you in half like an almond biscotti.
Oh yeah, I remember that episode.
But yeah, but the thing about Mushoku, you're right. I wouldn't want to be in that universe. But the only thing that's bad about that universe is, the only thing there's two big flaws in that universe. One is like, so yes, you have to deal with the princess chick who's annoying and kind of a dick. Well,
Yeah.
not kind of a dick. She is same as Louise. She is a very
She's just
Sanandre,
very
yeah.
nasty.
But that universe gets, she's very nasty, very rude. That universe, I feel like, okay, if you were to be in that universe, I would say, first thing, make sure you have some wicked-ass magic powers. Because then you just pin people to walls.
Or in this case,
You can use the force,
or-
dude.
or-
You'd be like, you will bring me a sandwich. it's like, or you can just do mind control.
You probably could.
Or, dude, you can just use the force. Like, it's like,
Unless you're probably like a level 59 dark
Dude,
elf or something.
dude, you know what? You know the Gabriel thing. It's
Yeah.
like, be gone from me. You can do that.
Gabriel's my stage
It's
name.
like big. She comes up to you and be like, be gone from me. You just like blast her against the wall. It's like, bitch, get
Yeah,
out of my
exactly.
face.
So as you can see, guys, he
Oh, man.
doesn't like those particular characters that much.
So yeah, that's it. That's the reason why.
Yeah,
that's my reason for
Yeah,
not being.
that's
in,
basically
in,
his.
In Isekai, yeah, is that I hate the bitchy, unbearable characters. But although I think I still could survive in the Mushoku universe.
You probably
though.
could.
Because Mushoku Tensei, even though there are some characters that I may not like, the story as it progresses on gets really good after you get past like the first season. It starts to get really, really good. Don't you
Right.
think, dude?
Yeah. It
Also,
does,
I like
actually.
the way the writer goes into a lot of depth into the characters. Like he really goes in depth, like big time in depth. If you've been keeping up with the show, like you've learned a lot about the Mushoku Tensei characters by now,
Right,
which
right.
is really cool. That's something I can't.
You can't stress that enough.
Well, so here's
Or-
the thing, right? I can't.
Give him a moment.
I can't really break down or kind of what's the word I'm using for it? I can't knock on.
You can't knock it till you try.
I can't knock on Mushoku Tensei too much. I can't rip it apart too much because there isn't too much that in the story that is actually done badly.
Right.
With like other shows like Familiar Zero, yeah, I can knock on that one pretty hard
Oh,
because
yeah.
there's not much story and not much development. It's just all slapstick comedy and pretty much like it's pretty easy. Anyone can follow it Because like dude gets transferred to another world, just like every other Isekai. Dude
Exactly.
gets beat up repetitively over and over again. Then in the end, he makes a decision like, oh, well, I'm not going to go to my world because there's pretty girls in here and I can just stay in this universe and be a slave.
But dude,
It's like, why not? Because why not, right? It's like, why not be a slave? Like, who? Why? What's so wrong with that? Reference to reality, Dante?
yeah.
Here, in today's world, right?
Not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, not good.
Not good.
Not great. It's like, besides the fact that you have no rights, you have no money, you basically are a dog to everybody.
You
and,
basically work for me with no extra money or pay.
what's the thing from Rick and Morty? He's just like, he's like, no. He's like, they work for people. They work for themselves in exchange for money that helps. And he's like, that's just slavery with extra steps.
Exactly. That's terrible. But
Yeah.
dude, have you ever wondered how Isekai became this way and why it ever became this way?
Well, so dude, part of it is you have to remember, okay, dude, that comedy in Japan is different from comedy here, right? So, like, yes, what I might see as being brutal or mean, right, may not come across that way in Japan, and the Japanese might think of that as comedy or that their version of that is funny, right?
Yeah.
I see it as being really sexist and
It
kind of brutal,
it doesn't
right?
exactly come off.
But yeah, it doesn't translate that to, and not to everybody. It doesn't translate that way to everybody.
Right.
And it doesn't come off that way in Japan. So their comedy is very different from ours, which is
yeah, it's
different country, different different.
Well, I mean, they have their way of they have
comedy,
their way
right?
of doing theirs.
Yeah. It's a whole different.
It's definitely a little bit different. But actually, dude, I was digging deep into like the whole fabric of Isekai itself. In fact,
different culture. I meant to say
right,
that.
right. Different culture.
Different culture,
Yeah,
different
definitely,
comedy.
definitely.
Yes. Sorry.
But yeah, honestly, in terms of Isekai and how it really came to be, you really have to dig deep into its history. So to be honest, Isekai actually the overall concept came from Japanese literature and the story of Ushimura Toro, who once saved a turtle and was brought to an undersea kingdom.
Why a turtle? It looks at that Sonic scene. Remember Sonic with the turtle?
I know, right?
He's like, "You want to go fast for a day?" He's like, "Whoops!"
Hey, like, oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, like,
And then he was shaking at the end. That was funny. But yeah, Ushimura Toro was actually a folk tale that was told was told a long time ago.
Hey, dude,
Yeah.
you said folktale?
Yeah, exactly. And then 5 years later, he returned to his village. Only it was 300 years old.
No, so, dude, okay, question for you.
Yeah.
And let me ask you something.
Will you let me ask you something?
What?
Did he get reincarnated? Because is that how he came up with that whole idea of, I got reincarnated as a slime, or I got reincarnated as a teenage spider? I mean,
It's part of the DNA of it. No pun intended.
Is that why you always see that terrible but horrible starting to every anime story?
Every genre starts somewhere.
Okay, it's not that it's bad. It's just that you see it so many times,
Right?
And like they do it so often. Plus, also it's like how the story starts, right? That you just get sick of it. You're like, oh, I'm ready to barf. Kind of like the friendship thing with me with Fairy Tail.
Yeah.
Where it's like friendship. Why? Because friendship.
Exactly.
Why?
Oh, don't worry,
sick.
dude. We're gonna get into anime.
That's
I'm
also,
doing it again. Dag nabbit.
Yeah, dude.
Mechanics.
Get your mouth together. You know the Rick and Morty thing where he's like,
Yep.
he's just like hey, get your shit together. He's like, sell it in a shit store, put it in a bag. He's like, just get it. It's like, well, get your words together.
Anime mechanics. That's what I was trying to say. Anime mechanics.
Yeah.
But actually back then the story itself originated in one of the first isekai anime films in 1918. Which is, way back then.
Not every isekai is bad. It
No,
depends
no.
on the writing and kind of... So, for example, right, Mushoku Tensei, there are a lot of good key points and good ways that Mushoku Tensei is really amazing, right?
Right.
The characters most of the characters in Mushoku Tensei, other than the one princess character that I hate, right? Most of the characters are very flushed out. They're very well written. They have a great backstory. It takes you on a great adventure, and the magic and the powers and just the stuff to it. It's very well put together. The writer does a great job of what wouldn't you say, dude?
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
introducing you. He does a great introduction to Rudius, the character, and a lot of the other characters, and kind of getting you, introducing you, and kind of getting the audience to kind of better get to know each character and kind of what the character is, what their attitude is, what they're like, right?
Right.
Which is a really, really good thing about Mushoku Tensei. Is that there's a great introduction, there's a great character build-up. He's great at the character development part, which is more than I can say for a lot of other isekai shows. Normally,
especially the older ones.
Yeah, normally they don't introduce you to. So, for example, okay, dude, do you remember how? Do you remember how the Familiar of Zero started? I can't remember. I know you see the main character, but they don't really tell you much about him other than the fact that he gets pulled through a portal into Louise's dimension.
You get some pieces of the backstory, but not the whole thing.
And I think later on they do go into details later in the story, but it's not till like much later.
Right.
And even so, it's not nearly as in depth as what Mushoku Tensei goes into. As Mushoku Tensei goes on, you learn more and more about each of the characters.
That's true.
And the characters change during the show. So, for example, the princess character who I don't like, what's her name? I can't think of her name. But the one princess, the one girl in there, she changes as the story goes on later on. In the second season, she's way better. She's not as bitchy and annoying as she is in the first one, and she's kind of way better than the first season. First season, I think she's mostly
a big fat sack of crap.
Yeah, she you just can't stand her, and she's like the most unbearable in the very first half because she's just this annoying, stuck-up, prissy little like kid that you just want to like beat the living crap out of. Which someone does, actually. Yeah. Someone just beat the living crap out of her in the beginning of the story. But yeah, so and then you have to understand that Rudius, right? Rudius is a guy who lived a life that is terrible in his previous world. So he doesn't want to resort to violence, but if he has to, he will. But that's a good example of an isekai story, right?
Right.
There where the writer does a really good job of building up and introducing you to those characters and kind of getting the audience more familiar with the character rather than just saying, "Oh, we're going to throw you into another world and it's just going to be all slapstick." Yeah, you're right, and it's just all slapstick.
But it's actually funny that you mentioned Familiar of Zero because even though now it may not be one of the best anime
it's the same thing.
titles out there right now.
It's the same thing with like so I don't think this is an isekai, but a To Love Ru is the same idea where it's just a main character who's not they don't really introduce you to him. They just kind of throw you into it.
Right.
And it's just a bunch of goofiness from there on. Now, yeah, they might give you pieces and parts of the story later on in other seasons or whatever, but it's not really as well built up.
Initially,
initially it's not great. And then also there is no backstory to the main character. There's no backbone or development to the main character. I think... I don't know if that's probably not an isekai though. I don't think that's more of a harem genre
that's more harem romantic.
Yeah, which is a whole other can of worms. And
we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, there's a
later.
whole. I have my own list of issues with the harem
we're
genre.
We're gonna get
anime.
to that later.
But that's a whole other can of worms.
But I was gonna say it's funny that you mentioned Familiar of Zero because.
Is that an isekai? I don't think is that considered isekai. I think it is considered isekai, right?
Which one? To Love Ru?
No. Familiar of Zero. Because it is a dude getting pulled into another world.
But actually. It's funny that you mentioned that because there was some fan fiction that was written back in 2004, which actually led to the creation of this website known as Let's Become Novelists. Now, Let's Become Novelists is actually the source material behind a lot of isekai that have
I read something
come
just
out.
Recently about that and how they got started back in the 2000s. There's a whole article on isekai.
Yeah, it was. There's a huge article.
And it's not so much that all of these guys are bad, right, guys? No. There are a lot of these guys' stories that if you give them a shot, they're actually not that terrible. It just depends on how they're written.
Not every single one that came out of there got adapted.
It depends on how the writer goes about writing them.
There was one particular one written by Teppei Nakatsuki.
I've heard that name before somewhere. Yeah.
Who actually is the creator of Re:Zero in 2012.
Ooh. Now,
So
Re:Zero is one of
the
those
concept
shows.
of Re:Zero actually came out of that website.
Re:Zero is one of those shows where it's both dark and gory, but at the same time, it's an interesting story because it's not so much about. And this is the weird thing about Re:Zero is that the writer who wrote Re:Zero wasn't necessarily focused on the main character and like he wasn't so much focused on the characters as he was on kind of the their kind of personalities, their outlooks, right?
Right.
Because if you look at it, right, the main character goes from kind of being all about himself and saving himself to actually being more compassionate and more open towards
The main
other
character,
people.
Subaru, I remember.
Yeah,
Yep,
and in the
Subaru.
beginning, he's like really kind of all about himself and kind of stuck up and kind of just
Yeah.
kind of a dick, right? And it's funny because the writer goes about the show, whereas he's not so much focused on what happens to the main character so much as he is the main character being more open and more compassionate towards other people. He's
He
teaching
dies
you.
a lot.
He does die a lot, but at the same time, he learns a lot of lessons during that time that he dies.
True.
During the time where he goes through all that terrifying and ugly stuff that happens to him, right? He goes through he learns a lot of things.
Yeah, but you can also imagine.
So it's
that-
weird
that the-
because it's one of those shows where, like, yeah, you feel for him, but at the same time, you're like, wow, like they kind of teach you a lot too during that
process.
whole process, which is kind of interesting because in a way, that's a type of character building, right? They're building up.
Yeah, he goes through a lot of psychological trauma
Yeah.
to get a lesson.
And a lot
out
of horror too, actually.
Yeah.
That's a universe I would not want to be in.
It's pretty dark.
It's
pretty dark.
Yeah, I would not want to be in that universe. Yeah.
But also, fun fact, in 2012, the term
Yeah.
isekai was actually coined after the first initial go-around of Sword Art Online. I'm talking about the first initial
You're
go-around.
talking about, well, Sword Art is not really, well, actually, no, I'm sorry, Sword Art is kind of an isekai because you are going into actually, I don't know if Game Dimension is considered isekai
Actually, now it's led up to different types of isekai.
Yeah.
There's like the traditional one, the virtual world, because that's when it was starting to step into the
because that's like
virtual
Log
world.
Horizon. Log Horizon is,
it
and
is.
also it's also like Dot Hack Sai.
Right.
Dot Hack Sai is a game, but they only show you Game Convention and Dot Hack Sai. They very, very rarely show the real world. But the thing to Sword Art, and the reason why people hate Sword Art so much,
The
is
initial
'cause,
one.
yeah, they did not tell you the whole story. And they did
Exactly.
not go into enough detail. And there you go. That leads into my first problem with isekai, right? When you don't write your characters and you don't put enough detail, you don't tell people the full story, or you leave out segments, or maybe you just don't do any character development whatsoever, that's bad because then you end up leaving people hanging, or you just the story just ends up being a nonsensical nonsense, and you're like, why? What is the point of this? Why make it an anime if there's no story? Like, a lot of people watch, and with us 90s kids, I think we hate this the most because we're used to stories with an
like
actual
structure,
story. Yeah, structure,
concept,
concept, yeah. Whereas new people watching us right now on
they
YouTube,
may not look too
yeah,
deep
you
into
guys
it.
might not care. You guys may be like, oh, who gives a shit whether there's a story or not? We'll watch anything.
We're gonna
as long
watch it
as
'cause we
it's-
like it.
Yeah, exactly. But some of us, like, we have a reason for watching anime. And there's a community behind this too, of people who like, right, watching something with a purpose, right? And that's my big pet peeve with a lot of both isekai and harem genres, where they don't write a story. It's just goofy. It's just like, oh, we're just gonna throw you in here and no backstory.
You still
and
have
just-
to. You still
it's
have to
just
take.
blah.
You,
Yeah.
You still have to take plot and character development into account.
consideration, yes.
Even if it is an
Yeah.
isekai, you still got to take that into account.
And then I also would say, like, if you're gonna make powers, and here's a really good example of something where I thought this was really, really stupid. And this is my opinion, guys.
magic and powers.
If you don't agree, that's your thing. This is my opinion. Do you remember the show that came out? I told you that I watched. It was so bad. It was
let me
called,
see.
what was it called? X Arrows.
Yes.
It was supposed to be, okay, I kind of get where they were going with it, which was supposed to be like a knockoff on the Power Rangers.
Yep.
Because the watches, but the powers and the concept of it, oh my god.
It didn't exactly go the way.
Okay, so let me put it to you this way, right? Me personally, okay, I felt sick to my stomach while also was like, this, like, watch thing with
What the hell
it's-
is this?
It just made me want to throw up multiple times in my mouth. And I'm like, if you're gonna make a superhero story, at least make it something that has good writing behind it. The fact that there is like kind of no backstory to any of the characters, the little bit they give you is really, really weak and like doesn't hold up very well. And then you're like, all the chicks are so violent and just terrible. You're like, nobody has the story to them. You're like, why? This is awful. And the fact that they made the sex thing, the story was just really bad. Like that was the whole plot of the story was, oh, let's just find a way to get naked on camera and fuck 24/7. You're like, this is disgusting. Nobody I'd be like, I could see it as if you're gonna make it as a hentai, yeah, do whatever the hell you want as a hentai, because not many people watch hentai for a story. They watch it just to be for the absurd sex scenes and to jerk off. Yeah. If that's the point of you wanting to do that, watch as much hentai as you want. That I don't care about. But if you're gonna make an anime, right, Dante, and you're gonna make it something with the story,
again,
please,
you still have to take plot and character development into account.
Write some character development and some good backstory to your characters. Otherwise, I just want to throw up terribly, and I will not watch.
He will grab a wastebasket and lose all of the lunch that he's eaten.
Yes, I will lose my lunch, and probably,
then I'll have to clean it up.
And I will probably never watch. I probably won't watch anymore. I probably won't ever watch it or even bother to check it out.
Genre again.
Yeah. Now, some people, like I said, that's my personal opinion. If you guys disagree, you're welcome to your own opinion. Yeah. Everybody is. Dante, what do you think? Do you have a is there a show where it made you physically sick, or are you just like, this is horrible? Like, I don't want to watch this. It's like,
well, I mean, if you honestly, dude, if you rely too much on it, then yeah, it's gonna be a major turnoff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, plot and character development are key.
Yes, they are.
And if it is not, guess what?
Yeah, really. I was gonna say the other thing. It might be you might have us doing this. If you don't develop your characters and you don't have a plot, you might have us all saying,
"It's official. You suck."
Exactly.
Yeah, we might.
Yeah, you're gonna hear it.
And you might get a lot of the fan base saying that. Believe it or not, guys, there's fan base on both sides. One side of the anime community loves the goofy fan service, right? The other side, not so much. Yeah. And so it just depends on how you feel and kind of what you watch. Whether you just watch it to jerk off is up to you. I mean, or whether you watch it just because you want some entertaining or just something on while you're maybe on social media or maybe doing something else, that's up to you. But I will tell you right now that I don't watch anime for fan service.
No.
I don't mind. I don't mind fan service in anime, but I don't watch it for that reason. Like High School DxD is one of the shows that I will watch, and High School of the Dead. Because the story is interesting with High School DxD, and it does go somewhere, right? The gods, the whole
and everything's balanced.
Yeah, the whole what's the word? Greek mythology, right? That sucks me in. Whenever you get Greek mythology in a story, I get sucked in. Then that's what sucked me into High School DxD. High School of the Dead, zombies. I love a good zombie story. Now I don't mind the fan service in the zombie story. It's hilariously funny. But also remember, there is a story in High School of the Dead, and it's a survival story, which is really cool because you're like, hey, how did they get out of this situation where the whole world is turned into zombies?
Exactly.
So, yes, I will watch fan service in anime, but I don't like it when it's just all goofiness. Really, really horrible, the show that shall not be named, which was what I call it, which is Rosaria Vampire.
Well, yeah.
Because the manga is, the reason I say that is because the manga really goes into a lot of detail, and it does go somewhere. Whereas if you're someone who likes the anime...
the anime and manga are now two different things.
Yeah, a lot of fans who like the manga gear towards that way.
They're still split on it.
Yeah, when people want to see the manga redone as a better anime. But like I said, it all depends on whether you are just in it for the fan service or in it for the story. In my opinion, I always say the anime that shall not be named, which is Rosaria.
But dude, I will tell you this in terms of Isekai's popularity. Yeah. And honestly, it actually started in the mid 2010s. But let me tell you what happened.
What is it? Let's see. Go ahead.
So in the 2010s, the Isekai genre got so popular during that time that both fans in Japan and the West were sick of it. really, like the genre has gotten so saturated that in 2016, that oh my gosh, are you familiar with the manga publisher Kadokawa?
Yes, I am. I've actually heard of that publisher quite a few times, actually.
Yeah, they've actually published a lot of books. But there were in 2016 there was a contest.
Was it bad?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was. In 2016 there was actually a contest that they had, but during that manga contest or submit your own manga, they said no to any isekai submissions because it's
Sick of
bad
watching it,
when
yeah.
manga publishers don't even want
Banned
to
it.
publish. Yeah, they banned it.
Yeah.
Not just them, but also there was another company that did it. I forgot the name, but yeah, it all started because of a fisherman who saved a turtle 300 years ago.
Yeah, who would have known? Saving a turtle. Hey, maybe turtles are good luck.
Yeah, well, I know sea turtles are good. I think sea turtles are good luck. But
Hey, dude, someone should make a funny meme about it. It's just like,
the man who saved a turtle.
No.
Yeah.
I was thinking more along the lines of those pictures people do with the
Yeah.
with the writing.
Oh yeah.
It's just
I
like,
remember that one.
do you remember the one that says that it said anime rule number 64: never attack the guy
Who's
glowing. Well, there should be another one like a rule number 87. It says turtles are good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Or 69. Enter rule number 69.
That's
turtles
R69.
are good luck. Find a turtle and you will have good luck. Save the turtles.
Yeah, definitely save your local turtles.
Turtles are magic.
Yes.
Turtles are magic.
Just don't be a turtle hermit.
Yeah, like Master Roshi. Yeah, don't turn into Master Roshi. Yeah.
That would be terrible. But yeah, dude, I think because of the oversaturation of isekai, it actually led up to the creation of Konosuba, which makes fun of the whole experience.
Well, so that's funny you mentioned Konosuba because that's one of the shows where I fell in love with Konosuba. The comedy, the writing, the way it's done.
It basically makes fun of everything, of all the aspects of isekai that people hate.
Yeah, but okay, so here's the thing, dude. Konosuba does it in a way that I think is very well put together, right? They each of the characters have their own personalities, their own jokes, their own kind of style.
Right.
And they all have their own goals in life. And yeah, they're all a little bit nutty and screwy in some way, but the way they go about the comedy in that one isn't as, how can we put it? It's not as like it's punchy and it's well, not punchy, not as like physical punch, but I mean
Right. But
I
think it's
sassy, right?
Right. It's one of those things that's not really meant to be taken seriously because again they're just poking fun at the genre itself.
It's kind of like Adult Swim,
Right.
Right. Adult Swim does a lot of crazy, in your face, like ridiculous poking fun at comedy, right? But a lot of it you don't take really seriously, and also they do a lot of funny stuff where they're making fun of a lot of things. Konosuba does that, but Konosuba does it in a style and like a more traditional anime style that is both funny but also not as what would you call it, dude? It's not as I guess violent as some of your other shows.
Right.
Like
I mean,
it is a not like someone goes flying out in space every like 5 minutes, which gets really annoying and really stupid in some cases.
Right.
Depending on who you are.
Right. And kind of and the way that the way that Konosuba does it, it doesn't feel like
it's not goofiness. Like, yes, it's goofy, but it's not. There's a.
It's satire. That's
There's a plan. There's a method to the madness.
Exactly.
Right, Dante?
Yes.
Like they planned it out. It is very well planned. The jokes are very well timed. And also the writing is very good for each of the characters' jokes. Am I right, dude?
Yeah, definitely.
So that I really. However, the guy who wrote Konosuba also wrote that other To Be Dispatched, which I did not like.
That one.
Oh my god!
From the same guy who made Konosuba.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. I was like, that made me physically sick. I was like, this is the guy from Konosuba. I was like, really?
Not to knock on you, but
yeah. Sorry, man.
I think Konosuba was your best work.
Yeah, it's like I liked the Konosuba, so sorry, dude. If you're the writer for Konosuba, sorry to kind of pick on you a bit, but I did like Konosuba way better than I didn't even watch. I got 4 or 5 episodes in. I'm like,
probably.
I got to a point where it makes that dick joke. I was like, okay, I'm done. This is just dumb. I was like, I'm not watching this anymore. I was like, this is just so stupid.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so now it's time for the moral of the story. Isekai has gained a cult following over the years, but for some fans, at the cost of its own self-respect. It's the one genre that is both loved and hated at the same time, from its copy and paste storylines to its half-assed character development. However, there has been some titles that have managed to escape this curse-like cliche. So when someone says, "Not another damn isekai," just know that the fisherman and the turtle started it.
Yeah. Okay, so dude, I feel like there's something we should bring up, right? There's
Yeah.
a really good, and a lot of people like this show, and believe me, I got into this one too when it got started. It was Date Alive,
Right.
okay? Because there's a new film coming out for Date Alive, and that is one of the biggest isekai genres out right
Let's
now. It's
see.
one of the bigger ones that people
Wait,
are
is it
into.
an isekai or
I-
it's fantasy?
No, wait, no. You know what? I might be wrong. Never mind. Hold
No,
on.
yeah, they
I believe it's
isekai.
fantasy. Never mind. I
Yeah.
screwed up. No, I'm wrong about that, guys. Never mind.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry. Never mind. Screw. No, we can just forget about that one.
And it's good.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah,
we'll
we
get to that
will
later.
do a thing because there's I think it's a film believe coming out right for Date
A
Alive?
new series and a film.
Yeah, well, yeah,
A new OVA.
a new OVA, yeah.
And then-
Which
then-
maybe we'll talk about that in
Yeah,
another episode or something.
Yeah, we will
another
definitely talk
podcast
about that.
episode or a short maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Because I have some mixed feelings on that one, so
Now, I think, well, unfortunately, there is another isekai coming out. It's,
Wait, what's coming out?
I was reincarnated as
I
a
was
skeleton.
a teenage heartthrob in Madame Earwax's Museum, the miniseries. Remember that?
That actually should be an
Remember that,
isekai.
Daddy? It's
I
like,
know,
I was a
right?
teenage heartthrob in Madame Earwax's Museum.
But actually, it's from
Miniseries.
Funimation, and it's called "I Was Reincarnated in Another World as a Skeleton."
Oh, wait! I think I've heard that one before. I think I've heard that before. Should be
Now
interesting.
the
It's
guy's a skeleton, but so why do I feel that it might be a parody of Overlord? I don't know.
Yeah, or it could
could
be.
be.
They could be making fun of Overlord because, like, you know how Cat Planet pokes fun at Star Trek. You
Yep.
know, Cat Planet was a horrible anime. Right?
Because there's some isekai anime that do parody
Yeah.
parody off of other
Yes.
isekai.
And the real reason they call Cat Planet horrible is because it didn't really go anywhere in the end.
Cat Planet's just one of those.
It's one of those.
It's one of those series.
It's one of those ones where like you watch it, but like you're kind of like, okay, I'm watching this just because I want to see the Star Trek parody.
Yeah, we do like Star Trek.
Or you're watching it just for the parody
Probably,
factor.
yeah,
Kind
definitely.
of like Adult Swim, right? Why did you watch Robot Chicken? To see them parody off of stuff, right?
I know, right?
And now the reason I'm not being picky on parody is because parody's different. When you're making fun of something,
Right.
that's different. Like if you're
That's in
poking fun at,
Konosuba's pace.
yeah, that's a different kind of comedy. And a lot of times, if you're poking fun at something, Cat Planet gets a little violent, which is not great. But at the same time, they're poking fun at a lot of isekai
Right,
tropes and other
right.
tropes when they're doing the stuff. So parody's a whole different story.
Yeah, if you're poking fun at tropes, then yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole different story. Now, yes, I don't like the violence in Cat Planet, but at the same time, it's like the parody is pretty funny.
Right.
But again, the story doesn't go anywhere, and it doesn't really. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not the greatest writing. Let's put it that way. There has been way better
well,
shows.
you probably shouldn't look at it for the story.
Yeah.
Again, if you're just looking at it for entertainment, then you got.
If you're looking at it for like a Robot Chicken kind of thing, right, where you're looking at
or
it for
just
the-
entertainment in
yeah,
general.
or just some of the good lines in there because there are some really good written so Brittany Karbowski has some really good cosplay lines in there which are pretty funny.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Brittany Karbowski if you're out there. You're pretty
We'd
hilarious.
love to have you on.
Yes, you come on the show. She's got some really good lines in there. There are some funny tropes in there. They poke fun at, and there's also anime in the background of some of the scenes.
True, yeah.
But yeah, if you're looking at it from that aspect, it's not great. But don't look at it for story or for really much else other than
Or
just a
plot
couple-
or character.
Yeah, because
development.
they don't really have a lot of plot in there, and it's not.
There's
much,
not much to dig for.
Yeah, it's not one of those ones where like you're not gonna get much out of it. I think I bought it only because they had the Star Trek thing. Yeah, that whole thing, space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Cadia. Yeah, anyway. Yeah.
Go or no sexy.
And also, the other reason the reason I also got it was because I kind of felt like the main character, Kyo, and that the fact that I kept getting teased by cosplay chicks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. We got pictures to prove it.
And then Aaron Dismal made it worse because when we actually met him, he's like, there can only be one. I was like, I was going to say that, dang it.
He got you. He got you
Yeah.
good. He got you really good.
Anyway.
Anyway, dude. All right. So, Isekai. Do you have any final thoughts?
I don't know, dude. Well, okay, so, dude, you gotta, I've been doing a lot of talking, dude.
Okay, all right.
What are your
So-
so, pet peeves?
Okay,
Let's
so-
go rant a little bit.
All right.
Benjamin.
So, all right. So everything that we talked about up to this
Yeah.
point, you are absolutely positively correct.
Yeah. Do you
And-
have? There's certain things that you can't stand, or that you get mad with that Isekai does. that you
I
don't
would
like?
say,
or just things that you're like, I'm sick and tired of seeing this. You know, right?
I would say, initially, Japan thought it actually had something going with the turtle
the turtle.
and and
Please note, turtles are good luck.
Yeah,
Turtles
are
might
good
be
luck.
magic, only in anime, not in real life.
Yeah, but dude, it honestly, it all started with the turtle because initially isekais were like you basically go into this new world.
Yeah.
You become a warrior. You fight off demons, plugs, slimes, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then somewhere along the way, isekai began to get a little more fantasy and It started mixing with a lot of other genres. It wasn't just
Harem,
isekai.
fantasy,
Adventure.
Yeah.
Well, adventure isekai is more common.
Yeah.
Video game, virtual
Yep.
reality,
Yep.
horror.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever seen a horror isekai. But
I have. Actually, I've seen horror. It's pretty creepy.
yeah, it is.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But
Ichi.
no. But dude, what's
Hentai?
your
But-
what's your like? Can you think of anything that really bothers you? Like, you know how the friendship thing makes me sick?
Well, that's just the mechanic. They
Yeah.
rely. If you rely too much on mechanics like that,
Yeah.
then yeah, it can get a little repetitive and boring.
But what about you, dude? Does anything bother you?
Well, the only thing
that
the only thing that basically bothers me is the fact that it's too freaking saturated. There's so many isekai that we have to keep up with, and some of them are okay, some of them are subpar,
Yeah.
and others are just come on, man.
Haven't
Haven't we done this song and dance too many times?
It's like, haven't I done this dance before?
Yeah.
It's like deja vu, huh?
Yeah,
No, but
unfortunately, I hate to say it, but the saturation of the genre is just exactly.
Yeah.
It's too much.
And
I can't
also,
keep up with it. I can't keep up with it.
I feel like, dude, they're at this point. They're just trying to be. They're just trying to be cute. So it's like, I have only this to say. It's like,
you think you're big?
Yeah,
no, you're not. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, you want to know what their response to that is?
Yeah, dude.
Probably, it's probably what a lot of writers are saying. But I'm like, no, you're not cute. It's
But
just,
yeah. My only pet peeve is there's too much to keep up with.
yeah.
There's just way too much to keep up with.
If you're an isekai writer thinking about writing another isekai and you're gonna do the same thing,
We're
as someone else
good. We
has
don't
done,
need no more.
no more of this isekai, okay?
Don't give us number twos.
Yes.
If you're gonna do an isekai, give us something like Slimes. Slime was a pretty good one.
I actually liked that reincarnated as a slime. I thought
Yeah.
they did a good job going into character backgrounds and details, and no, it wasn't. It's probably not the top of the line kind of thing, right?
Now I think
But
my
the
only
character
issue,
development was pretty good.
Yeah, it
in
was. I think my
That's how
only
I got reincarnated as a slime.
I think my only issue with that one is
What's that?
Malim.
Yeah.
Put some clothes on, girl. Come
Yeah,
on.
and like
Put some clothes on.
yeah, and also like maybe tone it down on her powers a little bit. Like she's just a little bit too
OP.
Yeah, OP with the powers. Like I get it, like Rimuru is powerful too, but like, and so are some of the other like. Who's the main dude who's like the god dude in that show?
I'm
Who's like
trying to remember.
ridiculously powerful. The one
I'm
dude.
trying to
Because
remember.
one of the actors that we know plays him, and he's just like a ridiculously. He can crack the table in half with just like glance, and you're like, oh
Yeah,
my
yeah,
god, that's
definitely.
ridiculous. But like, yeah, it's like maybe tone it down a bit on the powers.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, it's like, especially with like some of the characters in that show.
True.
Like the other thing that with that one, Dante, is that a lot of people, and I see this a lot on the comments, is that for an isekai like that, you're like, how can a slime get that strong? You're like, even in video games, most slimes are the weakest characters you bump into.
They are.
So you're like, people are like, well, how can you?
They're the first enemy that you encounter.
Yeah, you're like, how can you make a slime that strong and like not be, and not be like, and people just be like, oh, well, he's like just eats people, and you're like, or just
Well.
eats things. And you're like, that's the comment.
It's
I see
like
a lot.
Kirby.
I mean, well, basically, yeah, kind of. If he is the super tough pink puff, which
Yeah.
he could have been, then yeah, I could see that happening, right? He could just absorb people,
Yeah, that's true.
kind of like Majin Buu.
Well, we don't have
Majin
Boo yet,
Buu.
but yeah, shout out to Josh Martin.
But yeah, no, dude. So yeah, I mean,
But
dude,
yeah, that's my only thing with isekai.
So nothing really bothers you, huh? You have your
Just cool it with the pumping. Come on now.
What, you mean just doing the same thing over and over again?
Exactly. It gets repetitive. Give me something new.
I feel like
Please give me something
I
new.
feel like we're living in Groundhog Isekai Day, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
But
yeah. All right. I think have we ran enough? Are we good? Have we ran it enough?
Well, I think I'll say this for right now, Dante. I think we should
Finish him.
Yeah, let's finish up.
And guys, listen, okay, if you guys are thinking, hey, we're just bashing on stuff, no, we're not trying to bash on anything. We're just saying that the isekai genre has been overdone, and a lot of the stuff that in isekai gets annoying.
And we're pretty sure some of you feel the
a lot
exact
of you
same
probably
way.
feel the same way. Or if you don't feel this way, let us know. If you feel differently, if you like the crazy isekai genre and you're into it,
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it, by all means. These are just some of the things that bother us and probably some other people out there.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some other people who have other pet peeves and things they don't like about isekai genre.
This is just ours.
Yeah, this is just our personal opinion. We just thought it'd be fun to do a rant on isekai and some things that make you physically sick or just
So he can
bother
blow off
you.
some steam.
Yeah, it's also a fun episode for me because I just like ranting on
I know,
stuff
right?
like this. It's fun.
So guys, like we mentioned before, like what we do, smash that like and subscribe.
Smash the like and subscribe button. If you don't, you will be doomed to a. Let's put it this way: you will be doomed to a isekai Groundhog Day.
You will curse us to the life of a subpar isekai.
Yes, and you will not like it. We'll make sure that you don't like it.
Exactly.
Right, dude? And then also you might even have a bunch of, well, the two of us might even go.
Power up and destroy.
Yeah, we might turn Super Saiyan, fly over and blast you.
Exactly.
Like Exodia, obliterate.
Right, you guys pretty fun.
Anyway, dude.
So yeah, guys, that'll pretty much wrap it up for this episode. So,
Yep.
dude, I think we have fulfilled our duties.
Yep. So it's time to hit that button, dude. Farewell.
Until next time.
Stay out of trouble.